Created from a very successful cross of Durham and Mansell cattle in the northwest of France between the Maine and Anjou river valleys, in which the breed was named for, Maine Anjou cattle were the result of wanting the best of two breeds and searching to capitalize on hybrid vigor. Their reception into North America came through Canada in 1969 with the use of artificial insemination, and instantly an impact was noticed. Originally, the Maine Anjou Society Incorporated was made up of both American and Canadian members. In 1971, the name was changed to the International Maine Anjou Association and eventually headquartered in the Livestock Exchange Building in Kansas City, Missouri, which at the time was the center of the purebred cattle industry. Today, the association headquarters out of Platte City, Missouri, with an active breed registry of over 12,000 cattle and 3,000 active members. Stay with us as we take a look into a breed with a strong future and a commitment to an industry focus.
The American Maine Anjou Association is based out of Platte City, Missouri. We're right north of Kansas City, so we haven't moved too far from one of our original sites there at the Stock Exchange Building in Kansas City. We have a strong membership base that have stayed committed to these cattle through the years. We talk about the early cattle that were brought down. Those are the red and white full-blood cattle, and we still have maintained a lot of those traits while enhancing some of the parts that we really needed to work on. Our breeders have stayed diligent at making our cattle more versatile. They've tried to work on some of the places that maybe we needed to touch on when it comes to calving ease, structural correctness, and versatility, and they've done that while making these cattle even better at some of our breed strengths. We've always been known for having growth-efficient, muscular cattle. Our breeders have been able to build upon that and also moderate these cattle and make them where they can go out and work and sustain themselves in many different environments. So from a doing ability standpoint and feed efficiency, our cattle are much better than they were.
The question's asked why Maine Anjou, and I want to pose the question, why not Maine Anjou? I think the cattle are diverse. I think you can use the cattle in so many different facets of this industry. If you're wanting to produce cattle that's going to be pounds heavy at the sale barn when you wean your cattle, I think this breed offers that. I think the other thing they offer is the maternal traits. If you're interested in raising a set of feeder cattle, but you want to retain those females, our upbreeding program through the Maintainer program allows you to keep your heifers, keep the genetic history on those things, and breed those cattle up if you prefer, or use them in a different crossbreeding program with heterosis. We still offer the most value for the replacement female and the diversity of the cow that can be used from the show industry to the feeder calf industry. It's the easiest thing to do.
I think the Maines have the advantage of docility in conjunction with being heavy muscled cattle. They got big ribeyes, big tops in them. Those type of cattle can hit the sale ring and have good pay weight, but yet go on and have excellent carcass qualities. So on the terminal end, that's why we use Maines. On the maternal end, just excellent females. Their udder and teat structures are tremendous, excellent milking ability. We just really get along really nice with the Maine cattle, and that's why we use them over other breeds that we've tried. The Maine breed has progressed a lot, especially in the last 10 years, of getting the cattle more moderate, getting them softer made, paying more attention, of course, to the calving ease and birth weights, and they've just done an excellent job in that respect.
We like Maines because they do have more power and style. We love the females. You know, our Maine females are super uddered, big bone, stout. They raise a good calf every year, and they also have more performance when we send the steer calves to the feedlot. Also, the Maine bulls that we sell to our customers, they love the daughters out of them, and the steers perform really good in the feed yard.
They're a buck cattle company out of Madill, Oklahoma, and we raise Maine Anjou, Hereford, and bucking bulls. I think our Maine Anjou bulls, where they've really excelled with our customers, if we can ever get them to use one, it seems like they're always quick to come back to take another bull. That we've got the added performance back in them, and no doubt the quality is there to go with it. We have 2 annual sales a year. One, they both be auctions here at the ranch. They're one in March and one in October. We'll have 2 online bull sales in the spring and the fall as well. And then we have commercial bulls that we sell year-round. We're very fortunate that we make our entire living off the cattle business. The cattle industry is a great industry, and it's just awesome that you can wake up every day and think that you do what you love and be passionate about your job.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. The impact Maine Anjou cattle make at the commercial level starts with a focus on the vision for modern Maine Anjou genetics. That is, being progressive in the strategies of mating cattle that offer performance and power to the next generation. No one knows this better than Blaine Nagel and his family, located in southern South Dakota. Join us as we look into his thoughts on how to move forward in the beef industry while using modern Maine Anjou genetics.
In the past, the Maines have worked really good in the show industry, and that's a strength. However, a lot of commercial sector sees us as only a show breed, and that's far from the truth. We can show them lots of data, carcass traits and performance data, and calves that top the sales and the sale rings as feeder calves. So yeah, it's a strength to the breed to work both for show calves, but yet the commercial industry can really benefit also.
We've done a good job as an association through feed trials to prove that our cattle have the ability to convert feed to red meat yield faster than any other thing going. And for the guys in the commercial sector, if you still sell your cattle by the pound, this is the way to go, because these cattle from weaning time or from birth to weaning, it's unbelievable what these cattle can do and convert from feed or convert forage into just raw pounds at an early age.
I think the breed is versatile, especially when it comes from a crossbreeding standpoint and the ability to perform well in our environment here in the feed yard. The cattle are efficient, they grow well, and then they'll hang up a very desirable carcass at the end of the feeding period.
Maine Anjou has a lot to offer as a standalone breed, but we feel we work great in a crossbreeding program. We complement the English cow base tremendously well. We can enhance growth while adding muscle and power, keep them black-hided, and keep those dispositions right. Our breeders have witnessed firsthand, through not only their cattle but their customers' cattle, how great the Maine Angus cross is. That's why we established the Maine Angus segment within our herd book. The Maine Angus program is backed by a fully documented pedigree by registered cattle from both Maine Anjou and Angus bloodlines. We also require the bulls to be free of the lethal genetic defects for both breeds.
The main breed, our first draw to it was just the quality that they have, and when you can have that much quality and performance and cattle that can survive in the real world, that was our main interest. The new Maine Angus program, it's a new program, but basically we've done that for several years as far as using Angus females and mating those to Maine bulls or vice versa. When we originally started, with half-blood Maine Angus cows. So we've seen what they'll do, and I think they'll definitely, those cattle work awfully well.
Here we've been incorporating a little bit of the Angus base on our higher percentage Maine females. I think we see some value in them as cows with maybe a nickel extra milk and just a little more fleshing ability, especially out in the short grass country. But yeah, I mean, like I said, as a whole, we're just trying to make as good a product as we can with a balanced set of not only APDs, but we stress a lot of doability and functionality here, as far as they got to cover a lot of ground to survive out here.
This is real world. At the end of the day, this is where the rubber meets the road at everybody's production operations, from cow-calf to stockers. This is where it all ends. And in my opinion, the Maine breed definitely has a place in a crossbreeding program that will benefit commercial cattle feeders. The cattle have the potential to grow, and they're very efficient and get big, and those are some of the main things that we look for whenever we're looking to buy cattle to come into the feedyard.
Have you ever heard that old saying, "My heroes have always been cowboys"? Well, my hero is a cowboy. He's my dad. How would I describe my dad? He's a man of his word, a man of integrity. And it's those principles that we built the foundation of Willow Springs Cattle Company around. With the purchase of Bushy Park Farms of Mitchell, South Dakota, we now have the opportunity to provide you a multitude of bulls through a variety of breeds in our February sales. We know here at Willow Springs Cattle Company that you can buy bulls, heifers, all kinds of cattle from anywhere in the United States. But we hope that you come to Willow Springs to buy cattle because we are like my father, men of our word, men with integrity.
Blind Badger Ranch is a partnership between Bud Gamble and I. We run primarily a Maine Anjou operation. 95% of our calves go through our sales or private treaty sales, which is something I'm really proud of.
You know, as we've improved, like in this past year, we've retained every female that was born on the place other than a handful, and been able to market every one of them females for some sort of premium, either as a high-end replacement or through our sale or retained in our herd. So for any breed or for any operation to be able to keep that many females for themselves, I think is something that's said for us and for a breed. We are able to not only raise a product that can survive on our short grass, survive on this big country, but also be successful in the show ring and in the feedlot.
We would welcome anybody that would like to come anytime to show them around the ranch and our operation that we're real proud of.
Well, I've always been involved in the cattle business my whole life, and it's always been a family operation. Our herd's about a third registered Maines, a third registered Angus, and a third registered Simmental. I think the reason people keep coming back to our sale is because our cattle perform well for them. Our Maine females are super uddered, big bone, stout. They raise a good calf every year, and they also have more performance when we send the steer calves to the feedlot. Also, the Maine bulls that we sell to our customers, they love the daughters out of them, and the steers perform really good in the feed yard. Our main sale that we have every year is called the Classic Female Sale. We usually sell around 400 females, about 50 show heifers, and about 350 bred heifers and cows. Our biggest bull sale is the second Saturday in April in Follett, Texas with Jeff Berkman. We'll sell around 200 bulls there every year. And then this year we're actually implementing a new sale in March. It's going to be kind of a show heifer and bred heifer sale. It'll also be here in Stillwater.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. In an ever-changing industry, the one thing that stays consistent in the Maine Anjou breed is the impact on muscle and yield grade and the economic advantage based on the lack of discounts from overly fat cattle. Modern Maine Anjou have mastered muscle and maintained a maternal focus. Here's more on our story.
Today's Maine Anjou, we feel, truly has a place in the commercial industry. A lot of breeds claim they can do this and that, but we only claim what we can back up through data. We have not only relied on our breeders in terms of their herd reporting, collecting that information, but also the association has had a national bull test at Wamego, Kansas the last couple of years. We've taken it a step further and wanted to know what our cattle can do all the way through their endpoint. We've sponsored a national steer feed out at 3 different feedlots scattered across the United States. We've not only measured to see how those cattle can feed and convert, but also have followed them all the way through the rail. We have confirmed our ability to enhance rib eye area and dressing percentage that not too many other breeds can do at the level we can. One of our locations for the steer feed out is XIT JBS 5 River Feeders in Dalhart, Texas, where Gene Lowry is the yard manager. Gene knows and recognizes the difference of Maine sired cattle. He sees the value in these cattle and has fed quite a few throughout the years.
Last fall, we were approached by the Maine Association if we'd be willing to feed some cattle from several different producers in Texas and Oklahoma. The cattle did really well in here. We were pretty pleased with the overall performance of the cattle. The cattle were very efficient from a feed conversion standpoint. Their dry matter conversion was less than a 5.5, which is 5.5 pounds of dry matter feed to gain 1 pound of gain, which is very good. I would say exceptional as compared to the rest of the population of the feed yard. Cattle gained a little over 3 pounds a day.
VRCS is a group of consulting veterinarians that we work together in the beef industry. It stands for Veterinary Research and Consulting Services. It's not a clinic per se. It's really a group of us. It's kind of a think tank. We all have different areas of expertise. And we all have different levels of experience. In these particular trials, the number one concern is, conflicts of interest. And that's where this whole third-party concept comes into play, is you bring in somebody else that has no vested interest in the outcome of a trial, and they're almost like the referee, somebody that you can trust. And so, in the case of this, with the Maine Anjou Association, what VRCS provided was just an independent oversight, the third-party oversight, with the main goal of protecting the integrity of the results. To summarize the whole trial that we ran, big picture, it is our interpretation of this data is that yes, the Maine Anjou breed does bring some muscling into the equation. Does it through ribeye area? In this case, an extra 2 inches ribeye area. It also increases yield by 1% to 2%, just based on this study here. These cattle deposited the fat in the right areas. There was very little waste fat. So for those producers that want to improve their yield grade and bring those genetics in, Maine Anjou is another breed to consider that can do that.
Here at AMAA, we feel it's important to invest in the future of our breed, but also never forget where we came from. We are very fortunate to have a strong base of full-blood breeders that have worked with these cattle since importation. These roots have been cultivated by the American Maine Anjou Association, and we touched on this at the beginning of the show when the Maine Anjou cattle came across from Canada to the U.S. They came in the form of what we label now as full-blood cattle. Like most imported breeds, Maine Anjou cattle come from a deep-rooted history of livestock breeders that wanted something more and were always in search of the individuals that could be used to advance the breed.
If you go back to the early part of the Maine Anjou Association and when it started, it became evident to me that the reasons for bringing the full-blood Maine into the United States was something that could really change the industry. If you look at the full-blood Maine, you got the bone, the muscle, the volume, the length that adds poundage for the commercial guy at the sale barn when he's taking his steer calves and his heifer calves to the sale.
Full-blood Maine Anjou bulls add to the commercial cattle breeders performance and quality of animals. The animals are good, the production of meat is excellent, milk is good. Full-blood Maine Anjou buyers who have bought bulls from us for several years, they've came back and bought bulls from us because of performance. They want growth, and that's what they look for. Commercial cattlemen sell pounds. They don't sell color, they don't sell anything else, they sell pounds. The quickest way to add pounds to your cattle is with a full-blood Maine.
One of the AMAA's strongest assets is our youth program. We feel that we not only have a great junior show program where we try to incorporate every kid and we value them being there. We want to enhance their lives. It's really neat to see these kids and their families come from all across the U.S., meet new people, enjoy the show, and exhibit the cattle they've worked so hard on. When the Reaching Beyond Foundation was established, one of the main goals was a scholarship program for our youth. We feel that if we can help them out through financial support and make their college experience easier and better, we've done our job. We hope that one day these kids will not only continue maybe with Maine Anjou cattle, but more importantly in the agriculture industry.
The Maine Anjou youth program is second to none. It probably is one of the best, if not the best, junior program there is of any breed. We have a great junior national each year. We have great leaders there within the Maine Anjou breed. The involvement, I think that is so good for the young people because the people that go to the Maine Junior Nationals are involved in the Maine breed. It's a smaller breed, it's smaller numbers, and therefore the kids get to be more involved, and the quality of the Maine cattle is second to none. I mean, anytime you go to a junior show and there's a Supreme, the Maine Anjou is always in the talk. So I feel like that the quality is there compared to any breeds across the country.
I don't think people fully grasp how lives are changed when you're involved in the cattle industry, involved in the Maine Anjou Association, and when you're donating for a really good cause. I mean, you actually help develop kids and people into fine, upstanding adults. And you know, you look at a lot of prominent names in the industry and look at where they're at now. I mean, me myself, I grew up to be a lawyer. Jer Settles also grew up to be a lawyer. Mr. Salton grew up to be a pharmacist. You know, we all harnessed those experiences with the Maine Association and have turned it into something extremely positive for our lives.
We feel that the modern Maine Anjou bull has a lot to offer the commercial sector. We feel they can maximize profit from a terminal standpoint, or they can also enhance the cow herd. We can make them black-hided, moderate framed, and enhance that disposition. We all like to deal with easygoing cattle. Today's cattlemen are very progressive minded, and our board of directors and membership feel the same way. We have tried to adopt the most up-to-date technology to enhance our cattle, whether it's genomics and a sequencing project or genetically enhanced EPDs.
The beef industry is like so many other industries. It's really at a point with this genetic sequencing and the things involving genomics that we're going to be seeing that are out there now and going to be seeing here in the future. We're going to go from more of an association creating a certificate to an association creating value.
The genomic tools are actually very useful and effective for small breeders to help identify and quantify the genetic merit of their animals, where in the past they've kind of had their hands tied a little bit because they didn't have very much power from their data because of contemporary group size. So Maine Anjou for a small breed has been very progressive and very aggressive in adopting new technology, and that's certainly something that will help position them for success moving forward.
The American Maine Anjou Association has made it their goal to stay current with the times. The breeders have made a commitment to focus on the future of the cattle industry and what it takes to keep moving forward. A strong junior program ensures the success of the next generation of young livestock producers. And breeders, buyers, and feeders can be assured that the modern Maine Anjou can stand up to the rigors of the beef industry and make a profit that will sustain them through the future. If you're interested in Maine Anjou genetics, please consider the upcoming Bright Light Sale on January 13th at the National Western Stock Show in Denver, Colorado. For more information, please visit them at the American Maine Anjou Association's website, maineanjou.org. Also, please check us out at theamericanrancher.com or find us on Facebook. We'd love to connect with you. I'm Pam Minnick for the entire American Rancher team. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.